Anglerfish are a family of odd-looking ocean hunters, and even though there are more than 200 known types, they share the same signature trick. On their heads, they carry a built-in fishing rod, and at the tip sits a little lure. In deep water, that lure glows like a tiny beacon. It is not decoration, it is bait. The environment these fish occupy explains why that solution works so well. Many anglerfish species live in the deep ocean, typically between 300 and 5,000 meters below the surface, where sunlight never reaches. Down there, temperatures stay low, pressure is extreme, and food does not arrive on a predictable schedule. Chasing prey in those conditions costs energy that may never be replaced. Over time, predators that could wait, conserve energy, and strike with precision gained an advantage. Light still plays a role even in that darkness. In the deep sea, any source of light stands out immediately, and estimates suggest that roughly 90% of open ocean animals can produce some form of bioluminescence. That glow can serve many purposes, from attracting prey to confusing predators, and the result is an ecosystem where light itself becomes a common signal. Anglerfish take advantage of that reality by producing a glow that does not immediately signal danger. The glowing bulb on an anglerfish's head, known as the esker, sits at the tip of the elysium, but the light itself does not come from the fish's own cells. Inside the lure live bioluminescent bacteria that emit blue-green light, a wavelength that travels efficiently through seawater. The fish shelters these bacteria and supplies nutrients, and the bacteria provide a steady glow in return. Scientists have known since the 1950s that bacteria live inside the lures of female deep-sea anglerfish, even though identifying the exact bacteria took decades longer. Research published in 2019 showed that anglerfish do not inherit these bacteria directly from their parents. Instead, they acquire them from the surrounding seawater. That discovery resolved one long-standing question, and the result was a new mystery. These bacteria have reduced genomes and appear poorly suited to survive independently for long periods. Marine biologist Lindsay Freed said, "It is really hazy how these fishes are getting their bacteria in the first place. Once the bacteria are established, the anglerfish controls how the light is used. The elysium is flexible, and muscles at its base allow the glowing lure to move independently of the fish's body. The lure can twitch, sway, or hover almost motionless, creating the appearance of a small, drifting organism. In total darkness, light combined with subtle movement becomes difficult to ignore, especially for animals already tuned to search for glowing signals. At the same time, the rest of the fish disappears into the background. Many deep-sea anglerfish have ultra-black skin that absorbs about 99% of incoming light. Almost nothing reflects back into the water, which means prey can see the glowing lure clearly while failing to see the predator behind it. The anglerfish controls exactly what is visible and what remains hidden, and that contrast is deliberate. This setup leads into the ambush. Anglerfish rely on patience rather than speed, remaining nearly motionless for long stretches to conserve energy. The lure does the work. A fish, a shrimp, a squid, or another small animal notices the glow and approaches, mistaking it for prey or a harmless organism. In the deep sea, investigating a light can be the difference between feeding and starving. As the prey moves closer, it crosses a boundary it cannot detect. The attack happens fast. Anglerfish feed using a method known as gape and suck, opening their oversized mouths and inhaling sharply to create suction that pulls the prey inside almost instantly. The success of the strike depends on timing, not pursuit, and the transition from approach to capture leaves little chance to react. Escape rarely follows. Anglerfish teeth angle inward, forming a one-way passage. Researcher Carly Cohen compared this arrangement to a spike guard in a parking garage, where entry is easy and backing out is not. Once prey passes that point, the outcome is settled. The next adaptation explains how anglerfish survive long gaps between meals. Their jaws open extremely wide, and their stomachs stretch far beyond what their body size suggests. One specimen contained prey twice its own length. Deep-sea biologist Mackenzie Geringer described the results succinctly. They will end up with a bubble belly. Sometimes they have whole fish in their stomachs. In an environment shaped by scarcity, this ability keeps the fish alive. Although the glowing lure defines deep-sea anglerfish, the broader group shows how adaptable the strategy can be. Ceratioid anglerfishes include roughly 170 species across 11 families, and these are the fish most closely tied to bioluminescence. One recognizable example is the humpback black devil, first discovered near Madeira in 1863. The football fish appears so rarely that only about 30 specimens exist in collections, which explains why a Pacific football fish washing ashore in California in 2021 drew such attention. Outside the deep sea, the same hunting logic appears without light. Frogfish use lures shaped like worms or shrimp while blending into coral reefs. Batfishes rely on chemical attractants rather than visual signals, releasing substances that prey follow directly toward them. Goosefish lie camouflaged on the seafloor with a short lure and then vacuum in prey when it drifts close. Different environments demand different tools, but the underlying idea remains unchanged. Direct observation of deep-sea anglerfish remains rare. In November 2014, researchers at the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute captured the first known video of a living deep-sea anglerfish in its natural habitat. They filmed a female black sea devil around 600 meters deep, with her lure glowing. That encounter confirmed decades of assumptions built largely from preserved specimens. 4 years later, near the Azores, footage revealed a female fanfin anglerfish swimming with a tiny male attached to her body. The video confirmed long-standing theories about reproduction and revealed faint glimmers of light along her fins that had never been documented. In February 2025, researchers in the Canary Islands captured only the second ever footage of a black sea devil, this time near the surface in daylight, a sight so unexpected that scientist Corey Evans initially thought the footage might be artificial. One final biological detail ties the glowing lure into a larger survival system. In many deep-sea anglerfish species, females dwarf males, sometimes growing 10 to 60 times longer. The females hunt and carry the luminous lure, while the males are tiny and specialized for locating a mate in darkness. In some species, a male bites onto a female and becomes permanently fused to her body, with their blood vessels merging. This phenomenon, known as sexual parasitism, was first identified in 1922 by Bjarne Simonsen and clarified by Charles Tate Regan in 1924. Research published in 2020 later showed that anglerfish possess unusual immune adaptations that allow this fusion without rejection. The luminous lure belongs to the female, the primary predator, and in the deep sea, that single point of light solves multiple problems at once. It draws food closer and functions in an environment where encounters of any kind are rare. The anglerfish's fake light is not a gimmick. It is part of a tightly integrated system built around bacterial bioluminescence, near total invisibility, gape and suck feeding, and an expandable stomach. No chasing, no wasted movement, just patience. That system also explains why anglerfish look so ODD next to the sleek, streamlined predators most people picture. Many deep-sea anglerfish stay small, often under 30 centimeters long, and their bodies tend to be soft and flabby, a shape that fits life under crushing pressure where food runs low. Some species grow much larger, with the biggest anglerfish reaching about 1 meter. But even then, the design still is not built for long chases. They do not need to chase because the lure does the searching for them. The problem is, almost nobody gets to watch this play out. Even with modern deep-sea robotics, encounters are rare, and that scarcity has kept these animals misunderstood for a long time. That misunderstanding is partly why anglerfish are often treated as curiosities rather than finely tuned survivors. Most images people recognize come from dead specimens hauled rapidly to the surface, where pressure changes distort their bodies and exaggerate their features. Removed from their environment, they look monstrous. In context, they are precise. Every part of the anglerfish reflects trade-offs shaped by darkness, pressure, and scarcity rather than speed or beauty. The deep sea itself reinforces this illusion. It is the largest habitat on Earth, yet also the least observed. Vast stretches remain unexplored, not because life is absent, but because it is hard to reach and harder to witness behaving naturally. When an anglerfish appears on camera, it is often the result of years of searching, thousands of hours of footage, and a small measure of luck. The fish is not rare because it is unsuccessful. It is rare because it lives in a place that resists observation. In a place where almost everything disappears into darkness, the anglerfish wins by showing only one thing: the bait. The fish does not overpower its prey. It convinces it to come closer. And in complete darkness, that illusion is all it needs. Subscribe for more deep sea videos.